been a felon all my life. I'll die a felon.
So what happened next in terms of your career?
Well, I met Sonny Franzese. In the meantime, Meyer Lansky used to stay at the Warwick Hotel. He had the suite above me. I would walk with him every evening with his dog down 54th Street, make a left on 5th to 57th, right around back to 57, back to 54th Street, down 6th Avenue. And that is probably it's not like I said I'm going to start doing crimes, but they took my insurance license away from me. And that was a very pivotal moment in my life because that was my means of making. I really enjoyed the insurance business. And, but even then, they were trying to set me up. They had this guy, Jim Gennarelli, who was the first guy to ever become an informant against me, try to set me up, calling me up, asking me about my friend Sonny Franzese, Meyer Lansky, and I felt something funny over the phone. And I would say, I don't know who these guys are you're talking about. Perhaps I read their name in the newspaper. In other words, what I'm saying, I was probably a natural for the life.
Okay, so Sonny Franzese was the underboss
Yes.
of the Colombo crime family. And he was really like very high profile in terms of the FBI going after him being in the newspapers and everything else like that. He was not one of these undercover guys that you never hear of. He was like a John Gotti type character.
Sonny's a very smart individual, which I later found out after his eyes almost killed me. I sat down in the Russian tea room, which is in my book, and that's the reason why Michael Franzese did not like me. But I never liked Michael either.
Well, I interviewed Michael Franzese a couple times.
Yes.
And we brought your name up.
Yes.
Did you watch the interview?
Absolutely.
He knew your father, I guess, very well.
That's
and
correct.
He said at one point your father actually put a hit out on him. Do you know about this?
Put a hit out on Ori?
Yeah.
No, I don't know that to be a fact, but Ori's a bad guy. I mean, Ori used my father's name, used my name, threatened people as a result of that. He was doing some illicit things with my brother. I think he was feeding my brother drugs. I think when my brother finally straightened out a little bit when he was living with me out here, in the early 2000s, I think Ori put him back on drugs. I don't like Ori Spado, and he won't come near me, regardless of what he might have said in that interview. I'm not aware of the interview, so I don't know if he said anything about anything, but he's a liar. I wouldn't believe anything that he says.
Okay. So, first of all, before we get into this part of the story, at one point, Sonny Franzese put a hit out on you.
Well, let me explain how that happened.
Okay.
I was rocking and rolling. I'm out here in California. And I was taking care of John Franzese. I bailed John Franzese out of jail a couple of times.
And that's Sonny's son.
Sonny's real son.
Right.
Yeah.
Who was a drug addict.
Yes. I kept drug dealers away from him. Michael says, and this pisses me off, Michael, okay? I never gave Johnny any fucking drugs. He was a drug dealer. He was on drugs since 1980. After that interview, I got a call from their next door neighbor. But I know the story. And I'm going to tell you something else. Johnny got sober because of me. What happened was my son was doing a party at a nightclub down on Wilshire Boulevard. And Johnny wanted to go to it. He came, he was high. I said, you ain't going, John. And I had a girlfriend that was a drug addict. She ended up dying as a result of her drugs. So I was pretty familiar because I tried helping my girlfriend, been to AA meetings, Al-Anon. I went through all that there. And hopes that I was going to be the savior. And so I told John, I said, you're not going. I said, here's what you're going to do. I'm bringing you over to Cedars. You're going to tell them you jumped in front of my car, try to kill yourself. They'll put you in Thalians for 72 hours. I said, you're not going to my son's party. I don't want you at that club. And that's what I did. But unfortunately, he left there. At 4 a.m. in the morning, he's knocking on my freaking door. I don't even know I got my building because it's a secure building. But he got in. I said, he's wanted to sleep on my couch. I said, no, Johnny. Stay right there. I got dressed. I took him in the car. Now, I can't just put somebody on the street. So I was looking for a hotel for him in Santa Monica. And they were all full. So I brought him to the Coffee Bean. We're sitting down, having coffee. Had a talk with him. And he wanted to go to his brother's house. Now I knew where Michael lived. I know every house Michael's ever had out here. I don't give a shit. I know where Michael is. So told Johnny, I'll drive you. You can walk the rest of the way. And I dropped him off on a corner. And what happened, and we didn't find out until a year later, he heard voices coming from a building. Now, with all the rehabs and all the meetings he's been to, this meeting changed him. It happened to be an AA meeting that he walked into where he heard the voices. I didn't hear from Johnny for a year. And then I get a call. Johnny called me uncle. He said, Uncle Ori, I've been sober for a year. He told me the story over the phone. He says, I'm getting my year, what do they call it? The year pin or whatever they get. He said, I really would love for you and Anthony to be there. And Anthony and I were there for his year because that was a big thing for him. I was very happy for Johnny that he found it because unless you want it, you're not going to sober up. And at that meeting, and Johnny's a good talker, gave a good speech, great speech. And he says, I'm so happy my Uncle Ori and my cousin Anthony are here. He said that. He said, I hope I'm allowed in his home again. Unfortunately, he was. But my understanding, John was wearing a wing for the sheriff's department here in Los Angeles. He did get married. He married his girl, Denise. We went to the wedding. And then Michael walked in with his wife. I said hello, and we walked out.